KURINJI Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
KURINJI Educational Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurinjischoolnkl.com.
Okay, ma, now continuation video that is on how do plants absorb water. Amma, this video 2. So why? Because in previous video somewhat information we have learned under this side heading. Now continuation information we are discussing. That's why I have given number 2. Now in previous video we have seen there are two distinct pathways are there. So one is a symplastic pathway and one more is apoplastic pathway is there. Likewise for water movement we see now. So now in this video we are discussing complete information of symplastic. Once the pathway symplastic and apoplastic, when these are all movement is going on through the epidermis, cortex and endodermis, later pericycle. So water, how it will move later furtherly. So that information also we will see. Now symplastic system is a system of interconnected protoplast. So means here when we are going to talk about the symplastic pathways, so we have to remember as per previous videos diagram concerned. So in previous video, so we have seen one information, diagrammatical information we see there. What is the point we learned? Symplastic system is a system of interconnected protoplast. So means here based on this point we can understand. So when these water molecules are going to be translocated, how these water molecules are going to be translocated? Through protoplast. Protoplast means here what is the liquid which is present in the cell we will be considering as protoplast. Now neighboring cells are connected through the cytoplasmic strands that extend through the plasmodesmata. So once you see their neighboring cells means again suppose if cells are present together, so one cell is a neighbor cell to the another one. So likewise when the cells are present or connected together through the cytoplasmic strands, so that extends through the plasmodesmata. So means here the all cytoplasmic strands, so definitely all are extend through the plasmodesmata. Means here the extension or the association that will be extended will be extended with the plasmodesmata connections. Why? Because we have seen plasmodesmata connections are nothing but these are all bridge like structures which joins the two cells together we see. So means what is the point? Their plasmodesmata connections are there which connects or which joins the two cells together. That's why we learned one point. Suppose water molecules transportation process takes place from the one cell to another cell or between the cells by the presence of or through the plasmodesmata we see. So that is the point here we are understanding. Next. Now during symplastic movement, the water travels through the cells, their cytoplasm. One more time you see there. So what is the exact definition or the information of symplastic means? During symplastic movement, the water travels through the cells, their cytoplasm. So this is a very very important point. Try to save in your mind. Two distinct pathways are there for the transport of water. So there one is apoplastic pathway. I asked to remember in apoplastic pathway movement of water takes place through the intercellular spaces we learned. Now in this video, now symplastic movement is nothing but the movement or the travel of water through their cytoplasm or through the cytoplasm we will be considering as symplastic. Okay, next one, intercellular movement is through the plasmodesmata. So intercellular means the transportation taking place between the two cells. So that is how it is going on through the plasmodesmata connections. Okay, next one, water has to enter. Water has to enter the cell through the cell membrane, hence the movement is relatively slower. So here in comparison to the apoplast and the symplast, no, so based on this point, what is the point we can understand? Apoplastic pathway is faster than the symplastic. Sir, why sir here the symplastic pathway is relatively slower than the apoplastic pathway, sir? Means here answer is there, answer is there. Once you see, water has to enter the cell or enter into the cells through the cell membrane, hence the movement is relatively slower than the next one. So means here one reason author has given. So here water has to enter into the cell membrane, and within the liquid it has to pass, means the liquid is nothing but through the cytoplasm water has to pass. So that's why in comparison of the apoplastic movement, symplastic movement is slower or relatively slower. So this point nalla save pannikonga. Sometimes they are asking in examination in comparison of these two kind of pathways or these two types of pathways, which one is slower or which one is faster. If they ask means, so even in statements also, suppose for example we will give examinations, which one is correct one or which one is incorrect one. Likewise we are asking in questions. So likewise, so chance is there to ask in examinations. So thereby which one is relatively slow or which one is relatively faster. Suppose if they ask means, we must have the clear knowledge on this. So then only we can give exact answers. So now let me give final time of information. So in comparison of apoplastic and symplastic, apoplastic pathway is faster than the symplast or symplastic pathway is relatively slower than the apoplastic pathway. So then why give a reason? Suppose if they ask means, what reason is, so here in a symplastic pathway water molecules should be entered through the cell membrane and must travel through the cytoplasm. That's why in comparison of apoplast, symplastic pathway is slower. Next one is movement is again down the potential gradient or potential gradient. So here when the movement is going to be taken place or when the water molecules are going to be translocated, so their potential gradient or the potential gradient is slow down. Sir, why sir? Means suppose for example I will give you, now we are feeling thirsty, at the time half of the water bottle at a time we will take. Once our drink we have finished, we drank water. Now after 5 minutes one of our friends is bringing water bottle or she is bringing water bottle and giving us. At the time, okay, you feel thirsty, now you have water, take water. Suppose if she ask means, so previous time means first time how much of water molecules we took into our body, second time we cannot take same amount or more than that. Point, did you understand? So why already our thirsty or our feeling we have satisfied, means we took water into our body. Second time same quantity we cannot be taken. What do you say, So thereby here what is the point? Likewise here also, so definitely the moment is again down a potential gradient. So that is the point here we can understand clearly. Next one, symplastic movement may be aided by cytoplasmic streaming, and the cytoplasmic streaming can be observed in the leaf of hydrilla. So means once you see the symplastic movement may be aided by the cytoplasmic streaming. Means here when the water molecules are going on from the one cell to another cell, so mainly here the movement or the traveling or the streaming of water is mainly under the regulation or the control of cytoplasmic streaming. So cytoplasmic streaming, one diagram or one video also I will show you. So when you will be here at the time, once you remind me to give to see the particular video, so that time let us see this particular video in our smart class. Okay, but now here the cytoplasmic streaming so mainly involves in the symplastic movement. So next one, cytoplasmic streaming can be observed in the leaf of hydrilla. Leaf of hydrilla. Now hydrilla plant is hydrophyte. Hydrophyte. No? Hydro means water. No? So the plants which are present in the water we are calling as a hydrophyte. So this is the point. Definitely I will show you one video, but you have to remind to me. Okay, next one, the movement of chloroplast so is due to the streaming is due to streaming of water is easily visible. So in that particular video now I said to show you one video, no? So that time definitely I will show you. So how there, no? So when we are going to observe the cytoplasmic streaming in that particular video, so there we will notice or we will observe the movement of chloroplast. So there hydrilla the plant only, there definitely chloroplasts are there, no? When this cytoplasm or the streaming of cytoplasmic processes is going on, at the time we will notice the movement of chloroplast. So that one very easily we will observe. Definitely I will show you this video later. Next one, most of the water flow in the roots occurs via apoplastic pathway. So here even this point also is important. Means here we seen one point. What we have seen here, symplastic pathway is relatively slower we see. Now let us compare apoplastic pathway and symplastic pathway. Sir, apoplastic pathway is there and symplastic pathway is there. In comparison of these two, symplastic pathway is so slower, no? At the time, so most amount of the water molecules sir, or in which form or in which pathway that will be translocated more and more, sir, means apoplastic pathway. Okay, through apoplastic pathway more quantities of the water molecules will be translocated from the one place to another place. Why? Because a symplastic pathway is so slower, no? At the time it takes a very fewer number of water molecules from the one place to another place. So this is the point here we are observing. Most of the water flow in the roots occurs via apoplast. Next one, since the cortical cells are loosely packed, so this is also one of the reasons. Sir, why, sir, here apoplast playing an important role for the translocation of water or for the transport of water very happily, very fastly, means here because since the cortical cells are loosely packed. Cortical cells, the cells which are present in the cortex. That only cells which are present beneath of or below the epidermis we see, no? That is only in anatomy of flowering plants we have seen so many anatomical structures also, no? Cortical cells. Now these cortical cells are loosely packed. So when these cortical cells loosely packed means what we can understand there? Intercellular spaces are present or large intercellular spaces are present. When intercellular spaces are present, no, or loosely packed, no, water molecules, so definitely translocation process takes place through the intercellular spaces. So suppose if a water transportation takes place through the intercellular spaces, means that kind of pathway only, no, we are calling as apoplast. So that's why apoplast playing an important role in roots for the translocation of water, or for the transport of water. Translocation or the transport. Translocation, location change avano, place only no change avano. So nalla paathukonga rendume same. The next one, and hence offer no resistance to the water movement. So now there no chance to the movement or the stagnant of the water. Definitely that has to move from the one place to another place. Next one, however, the inner boundary of the cortex. Inner boundary of the cortex means, did you remember? Innermost cortex or innermost layer of the cortex is nothing but, once you see the answer, endodermis. Correct only, no? Why? Because already we have seen, no, in anatomy first of all epidermis is there, later cortex is there, and cortex inner layer is endodermis. So as we have seen before, endodermis is impermeable layer. Why it is impermeable? Why? Because it is made up of suberin. Once you watch it was spotlight. So here, so when the suberin is is involved in the making of endodermis, no, because of the suberin, endodermis is impermeable. I hope you understood. So now here, now what is the point we are understanding? So inner boundary of the cortex, that is endodermis, is impermeable or impervious to water because of a band of suberized matrix known as Casparian strips. So because of the Casparian strips, so endodermis is acting as impermeable. So through the endodermis, water cannot be entered into the complex or vascular tissues. Sir, how sir water molecules enters into the complex region, so that is xylem and phloem members means. So one important pointer, as per our previous knowledge information, in endodermis, already I told you, in endodermis, few cells or a few specialized cells are present. These specialized cells are nothing but passage cells. Passage cells. So there, what is the point mainly we have to remember? No, once endodermal cells or endodermis cells, cell wall is made up of for suberin. Now only we see no, but passage cells cell wall is made up of cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin. So means here, so how normal plant cells will be there? No, like that only. Here also passage cells are also made up of. Okay, so thereby definitely passage cells helps in translocation of water and minerals, or the transport of water and minerals. I hope you understood. Some simple point in endodermis, passage cells are present, or specialized cells are nothing but passage cells helps in permeability of water and minerals. Okay, so that is the information even here author was given. So now let us see even that also. Now water molecules are unable to penetrate the layer. I told you, why here this point we have written endodermis is impermeable. Why? Because it is made up of suberin. So that's why water molecules are unable to penetrate the layer. So they are directed to wall regions that are not suberized. That are not suberized means, what is the point now we learn? So where we are observing the absence of presence of suberin, so there where we are observing the absence of suberin, so there we are observing the cells which are made up of with like a cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, or simply you try to remember there is no suberin. Okay, suberin is not there means there is some other chemical must be there. What it is? Cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin. Means like how normal plant cells of, likewise here also somewhat specialized cells which are made up of with normal chemical composition. Where? In endodermis. Point you understood? Simple. Generally endodermis is made up of suberin. So because of the suberin, this entire endodermis is not suitable for the transport of water. Suppose at the time how transport of water molecules takes place through these in endodermis, even though the entire endodermis is impermeable to the water, but there some in locations or in some locations few specialized cells are there, or few specialized passage cells are there which are involved in transport of water. I hope now you understood clearly. Now next one. So the water then moves through the symplast. Means once the water comes up to the endodermis, at the endodermis water enters, or water enter through the symplast. Water enters into the symplast means, so definitely what we have to understand, water enters into the passage cells. Why? Because within the passage cells cytoplasm will be there, no? Normal specialized parenchymatous cells are there means definitely we will observe the presence of cytoplasm. Means here before the passage cells water coming or water pathway, two types of pathways are there. One is apoplast and one more is symplast. But at the passage cells, there only one and only the way is there, that is symplastic pathway. My dear students, try to understand clearly. So one more time I'll explain through the diagram. Once you see here, here symplastic pathway is there, means here water molecules moving through the cells, so connecting through the cells, and here the passage cells are there now, enters. And here also apoplast, A I have written, why? Because we are not having space, but we can understand now. A stands for apoplast and S stands for symplast. Now here the apoplast, now here water moving or the water transportation process takes place through the intercellular spaces up to here only. But here passage cells are there, no? Up to here once you counted 1 and 2 pathways are there, but here only one pathway, that is symplastic pathway. So here one important need bit. So sometimes chance is there to ask like this also. In passage cells, what is the type of transport you will observe? Either symplast or apoplast. So suppose if they ask means our answer must be symplastic pathway only we will observe in passage cells. This is important point. Next one, and again crosses the membrane to reach the cells of the xylem. Once the water molecules enters here, and now later water molecules comes into the xylem members. So here protoxylem and metaxylem. One more important bit na adu enna ipo paatha inga protoxylem is there, no? So protoxylem, and here also two xylem members we have drawn, no? What is the point now I am going to give you is where we can see the presence of passage cells means the passage cells which are present exactly opposite or exactly nearer to the protoxylem. Exactly. If inge protoxylem irukana exactly pakkathalaye we will observe the presence of passage cells. So that's why suppose here some other place we are observing the presence of protoplast or protoxylem means, so definitely pakkathalaye in endodermis we can notice the presence of passage cells. Why? Because definitely this kind of appearance will be there, or appearance can be noticed even in anatomy of roots. Okay, so now let us move forward. The movement of water through the roots layers and ultimately symplastic in the endodermis, and this is only the way water and other solutes can enter into the vascular cylinder. So means that is the one and only the way. Earlierly two types of pathways are there, but in endodermis only one and only the way is there, that is symplastic pathway. Next one, in young roots. In young roots, what is the point? In young roots, water enters directly into the xylem vessels and anyone we can use. Here even in a textbook also they have given like this only, xylem vessels or tracheids. So anyone or both. Okay, so definitely, so here the xylem vessels and tracheids definitely helps in entry of water molecules. So later these are all non-living conduits. Passage tube like structures. So definitely we know very well. So this point author no need to give away because in anatomy very exclusively we have seen. So xylem vessels and tracheids are non-living. Non-living means already we learned one point there. Non-living means cell wall is made up of lignin and there is no chance to the presence of cytoplasm. We have noticed, try to remember. Next one, so are the parts of the protoplast. So that's why here these are all definitely what we can observe there. So here vessel members, xylem vessels as well as tracheids. In out of two types of pathways, so what is the type of pathway we can notice means apoplast. Why? There is no chance to the presence of protoplasm or the cytoplasm, so thereby definitely apoplastic pathway only must be taken place. So that is a diagrammatical explanation. So later in some plants have additional structures. In some other plants somewhat additional structures. These additional structures are associated with them that helps in water and minerals absorption. Some other kind of plants, if you see there no additional structures are present. Sir, additional structures are present means here this kind of information will not be there, sir, means will be there. Additional இப்போ diagrammatically இங்கே what is the information we see now இது எல்லாமே இருக்கு. Along with this particular information additional information. Additional information. So what it is, so in some other plants here additional structures associated with them that helps in absorption of water and minerals. Okay, what is the information? Now let us see the mycorrhiza. First one, mycorrhiza is a symbiotic association of fungal members with the root system. Suppose if you take one of mycorrhiza, Amma, sometimes they will ask mycorrhiza, what is the meaning of mycorrhiza? If they ask means what we have to write, it is a symbiotic association between whom? Fungal members and with the root system or higher plants root system. In a root system where we will observe in plants only, no. That's why what we have to write, mycorrhiza is nothing but association or a symbiotic association between the fungi with higher plants root system. Once you say what it is, mycorrhiza is nothing but it is a symbiotic association between the fungal members with higher plants root system. Okay, sir, mycorrhiza is there, no, means fungal members are there, no, fungus is there, no, then why, sir, why these fungal members are associated with root system, sir, or higher plants root system? Enna, sir, use na paringa. The fungal filaments form a network or network like structure around the young root, or they penetrate into the roots. So means here fungal filaments. So fungal filaments avama ipo nalla remember panikonga in regions of root we drawn, no, unicellular root hairs we drawn at a region of maturation, no. So likewise somewhat fungal filaments also will come and get attached with the young root, or sometimes, you know, penetrate into the root system. So thereby, by associating with the young root system or by penetrating with the young root system, so what we can observe, or what is the use, no? So it will means a fungal members. Fungal members absorbs the water, minerals, and especially phosphorus, phosphate molecules mainly absorbs by the fungal filament and supplies to the plant. Later, plant also will give support to the fungal member, no. That's why plant also it will give somewhat food materials for the surveillance of the fungal member. Even so, what are the kind of chemical molecules supplied by the fungus, and what are the food materials given by the plant? Even we will discuss in the next video. So why? Because here the time as well as board also is completed. So in the next video definitely we will focus on the what are the chemicals that to be shared each other, everything we will have a look. Thank you, ma, and be safe at home.